Welcome back. 10 years ago, when your family faced this tragedy in the UK, did it ever cross your mind that there would come a time in Nigeria when other mothers would be facing the same nightmare of having sons and daughters killed by terrorists?
Never. I actually tell you something. I was interviewed by BBC, one of my journeys out of London at some point, and the man asked me, "You come from a country where there is north-south, Islam, Christian, predominance of those two faiths and whatever. Don't you think this kind of thing can happen in your country?" I was emphatic. I wish they can find that interview. I was emphatic when I said, no, it can't ever happen in my country. That's why you've got to look at why this happens here. It can't ever happen because, he says, why? I said, because in Nigeria, we intermarry, we love each other, we have gone past the boundaries of ethnicity and religious bigotry and religious intolerance, and that we are one people, one country. It can never happen. This is just abnormal, what has happened in London.
You were, of course, speaking to your own reality, because you came from a background, you know, where there were mixed people within the same family of mixed religion.
Yes, and I told him for sure that there are many, many such examples, and that there is nothing that divides the northerner from the southerner or the Muslim from the Christian and whatever, because there is so much fluidity and love, and that it can happen in my country.
Looking back now, do you think you were very naive about the issues that Nigeria was dealing with? Or is dealing with?
I may have been naive, but not really. I think there is a bit of what we call copycatism going on in what is happening in Nigeria today. A serious one. And also, unfortunately, yes, maybe that naivety came in, because right now I think one of the major causes, if I may dare to say, which maybe many people will not want to say, but I have sat down in my sober moments, I have reflected, and I have realized, and I have thought that our diversity is no more breeding the unity that we had always said, unity in diversity. Rather, it is breeding a lot more of identity conflict in identity crisis, and a huge intolerance for difference.
So rather than our diversity becoming our strength, as we see in other places, what you're saying is it is our weakness.
It is fast becoming our weakness. And so long as we don't address it frontally, properly, truthfully, openly, with no holds bar, then we would not have seen anything yet. Until our differences no longer make a difference. Right now, our differences are making a lot of difference. Intolerance is there. Diversity is not unity anymore.
Are you absolutely certain that it is this diversity, from your point of view, that is the problem, or is there a wider issue that Nigeria has gotten sucked into?
No, of course there's the wider issue, which I didn't want to talk about. We don't want to look. We're just actually looking at our own reality. Because to cure a boil, you've got to lance it, remove, and whatever. But if you are believing that, oh, that boil, well, something from outer space did fall on my arm, and so that's why that thing is there, maybe something will come and take it away from me. No. Until you deal with it yourself and get to the root cause of it, it's not going to go away. Of course, there is that link, that international link. Like I told you, copycatism is also there. But why were we so vulnerable? Why did it happen that it took root, and took root so quickly and so fast and so deeply? Even if it started small, like people are saying when they were analyzing, they said, oh, Boko Haram, that's how it started small, nobody noticed and whatever. Now we link it to poverty, we link it to not having, we link it to
lack of justice,
lack of integration, lack of whatever. There's a lack everywhere. There's poverty everywhere. I'm not saying some are not poorer than others, but if everybody who's poor, who's lacking, who feels disenfranchised with society, who feels unjustly treated, decides to go ahead to behead people, or to blow out people in the marketplaces, or to go out public transport and blow people, where would everybody live? There will be nowhere. There will be no world. That's what I'm saying. We've got to find out if there is need to say, okay, we are sorry for this or that or the other. we've goofed here, we've erred there, we've made terrible mistakes. Let's sort it and let's come together again.
Does it matter that Boko Haram seem to be indiscriminate in their killings?
Yes, it started off, remember, by mainly churches. But at the end of the day, it's quickly settled down to what we are seeing today. And that's why people are asking, what makes anyone, why do you have an intra-religious intolerance?
So you're clear in your mind the problem is Islam, you think?
I don't think it's Islam.
Okay.
I've never said that. It's not Islam. Because Islam, there have been no religion that preached that people should go kill each other. I went to school with Muslims.
So you're
Catholic
married
school.
to a Muslim?
Yes. No, I'm even saying even at that stage of my life, we never knew what was wrong, Muslim, Christian, going to a Catholic school.
I went to a Catholic.
Yes, we ate together. When Ramadan came and they traveled to Lagos from Ibadan, we were waiting in school for the ram to come and we all ate the ram. When it was Easter time, they followed us to eat. It was, even the chapel, they would scrub the chapel, they would give us morning assignment and everything. That was the Nigeria, the country I grew up in. So I'm saying that if my children don't know this now, and the youths of this generation don't know this, it's a matter of sectionalism, ethnicism, religious differences, then we've got a lot of work to do.
It's time for a quick break. Stay with us.